2026, one water star year in the 9-star key. In this year, we begin a pivotal shift in our collective world as we begin a brand new 9-year cycle that all begins with this one water star year, the seed of potential germinating underground, under snow, in the season of winter. In the 9-star key, we will be traveling through this water element all year long. And in numerology, 2026 also adds up to 1. So magical. This symbolizes brand new beginnings, a new era, rebirth, and a new way forward for a new paradigm. And the one water star is known in the 9-star key as the innovator. And we will see some profound innovations being created in 2026 to just transform our world in ways beyond our imagination. And this 9-star key forecast is not to be confused with any of that fire horse business in Chinese astrology. Yes, we're moving into a fire horse and I'm excited for it. I am a dog in Chinese astrology, and so horses are my friend, but that is a completely different system. I want you to release whatever you know or whatever you've heard about the fast-moving horse and moving forward quickly, because that's a completely different system that does not correlate with what I'm going to talk about in the 9-star key at all. So just let that go for a moment. Let go of your preconceptions of what you might have heard 2026 will look like, and just listen for a better way to manifest using this 2026 one water star year, where there is this crackling energy that feels like right after a lightning storm, when the air is just ripe with imagination, inspiration, and creative energy. You just breathe in that fresh, crisp wind energy, and you know something is about to change. It feels like something is changing for the better, perhaps. Your wishes might really come true this year, especially if you see a rainbow after the storm. And we just recently saw a beautiful rainbow after the storms, to give hope that wishes really do come true in 2026, and you can truly manifest miracles in a one water star year. This is the year of manifesting miracles, and I do believe that something wonderful is about to happen for us all this year. I have such high hopes for the future, but we will still have some hurdles to overcome in this kidney chi water element system, symbolized as a flying dragon who is just preparing to take flight. In the I Ching, this one water reading consists of all yang lines, bringing us so much energy to create, to manifest in 2026. Water, this one water star is the most yang, meaning we have so much potential energy to make a change in our life this year. This is the most auspicious energy, the most auspicious time in our planet to manifest great abundance. If you are seeking great abundance, if your goals are in energetic alignment with your highest healing good, This energy supports stepping into your power, having all that you desire, and just going after and getting everything you've ever want. It's like reaching for that brass ring and grabbing it. So this is an exciting year full of hope for the future. And when you follow this 9-star key system, it really shows you how you personally can get into energetic alignment and become a magnet for everything you want simply by becoming an energetic match to it. It comes to you because everything is energy. And when you match the frequency of what it is you want, you will start attracting higher vibrational situations, higher vibrational relationships, friendships, spaces, and you will begin to live that dream reality before you know it. So this is a year to focus on just keeping your vibe high. Focusing on where is your energy, what is your energy doing is like medicine for the soul in a 1 water star year. And I also study feng shui, and in feng shui, where we rearrange our furniture to get that energy qi flowing in our homes, in feng shui, we focus on that water corner. The water is located in the wealth corner because water is wealth. So a 1 water star, we can rise to greater wealth. When we honor the sacred water element with Reiki rituals, like we do during my Lionsgate Reiki class, we can attract abundance by honoring water. And water is a more valuable resource than money. We simply could not live without water. And our bodies are mostly made of water. And water is the most abundant element on Earth. More than 70% of our Earth is water. So when we can tap into this flow of abundance that water naturally provides us by following all of the water element advice I'm going to give you here today in this reading, I will unpack and teach you right here. Plus, I will be offering a powerful sacred water ritual that I learned from a high Buddhist monk that I have used personally to manifest absolute miracles in my life. And I will be releasing these secret water ritual videos with distance Reiki and an energy clearing so that you can manifest in 2026. This will be for my members only. As we get closer to the Lunar New Year's in February, I'm working on it right now. I'm going to do it on the Cancer full supermoon. Right now, I am able to give away 10 memberships so that you could become in my members only club where you get all these other videos that I don't post for everyone when you hype my videos. Please, if you happen to see a hype button while you're watching this, hit it so that you can help me keep making content this year, because YouTube has these new hype features, and if my followers don't use the hype button, then my videos just don't get seen. They don't get views, you don't hear about them, and then I won't be able to spend my time here. But when you do hit that hype button, I will automatically enter you. You'll be in it to win it, one of 10 memberships, about 10 solid memberships. So really good chance you'll get in, and then you'll get that sacred water ritual for manifesting miracles in 2026. If I don't get enough hype buttons and I don't get enough views, I won't be able to spend my time here anymore. I'm really, part of the energy of 2026 is really seeing what is paying off, what is giving you dividends, where are you getting profit, and then if it's not bringing you abundance, then don't do that anymore and spend your time and energy somewhere else. And I'll just have to focus on my real estate career, because I am really leaning into real estate this year, which I'm so excited to help people buy and sell homes in 2026, because I do believe this is going to be an amazing real estate market. I know Trump, even though I'm not a huge fan of Trump, he is releasing all these home buying incentives in January of 2026 to really make buying a house affordable for everyone. And this year, One Water Star is about manifesting your dream home and getting financially solvent. So let me know if you're looking for a dream home in Bend. I will be spending a lot of focus there. And if you are brand new here, 9-Star Key is this nature-based astrology system that is ruled by the 5-element system that we use in acupuncture, Jin Shin Do, and Feng Shui. And in this 5-element system, you have water, which feeds wood, which feeds fire, which feeds earth, which feeds metal, continuing on through condensation, feeding water again, and the cycle continues. This is a productive cycle. But then we also have destructive cycles where water puts out a fire or fire burns wood. So we have these 9 growth cycles that begin with this year's One Water Star, seen as the seed of great potential, germinating underground. In the season of winter, the seed germinates, and then it will sprout into a 2 Earth Star to become a tree that blooms in the 3 Wood Star, and then leaves will begin to fall in the 4 Wood Star as a windy storm begins to blow in the 5 Earth Star. And then the 6 and 7 Metal Stars is about harvesting what you reap what you sow, so you harvest in the metal. And in the 8 Earth Mountain Star, we go into a cave to prepare for winter is coming. And then in the 9 Fire Star, the final star of the whole cycle, we gather around that Yule fire for warmth with friends, and we just burn all of our debris from the year before, and we release and let go in preparation for a brand new cycle once more when we enter the One Water Star. So here we are, starting all over again with that One Water Star. And each and every one of you were born with a primary element star. So find your star in the chart at the beginning or down in the description and comment what star you are, and I will give you a personal free mini reading with a little bit of Reiki for 2026, and then you will be entered automatically into a larger Reiki and 9-Star Key giveaway that I do once a month. I'm giving away a free reading every month for the year of 2026, starting with this month's winner. I'm in December right now, and Heather B369. Heather BE369. Contact me at Kamimi Healing Arts. You just won for this month to get, and if you just reach out. I have no way of reaching out with you guys, so you got to reach out by email, kamimihealingarts@gmail.com, or just find me on my website, link down below. Get started with your reading, and you can also order your own 2026 9-Star Key reading with Reiki and an energy clearing to get into alignment with the energy of this year to truly manifest in the upcoming year. This is what I love about 9-Star Key more than anything else. It helps you navigate your way forward in the best way possible. And this is why I fell in love with this system. And this year will feel really differently depending on what element you are and what star you're traveling through. We are all collectively, as our world, traveling through this One Water Star. But then each and every one of us also has a personal star that we are traveling through. So, for instance, I am a wood star. So water, this main collective element of water, feeds wood. And this will be a productive year for me. And I'm also personally traveling through a 7 metal star year, which is why I'm trying to wear more metal, because you're supposed to wear metal when you get to the metal stars. And so I am in a period where it's like the tree is well watered, and the 7 metal star would be like pruning back your tree, kind of cutting out the dead things, clearing out whatever doesn't serve you, so that the tree can continue to grow and thrive. I'm in a very productive, pretty happy about it year in my harvest. But if you are, say, a 9 fire star, water puts out that fire like Trump is. So this would be a destructive energy that could dampen your fire and kind of exhaust you. And you may, as a 9 fire star, be feeling exhausted and overwhelmed by the energy of the 1 water. So finding out what your own personal element is by going in the description or on the chart to find under your year, you will personally be traveling through another star within the 1 water star, and this helps you navigate your whole year ahead. So you know what the energy is like for you personally, and I'll be releasing these personal star forecasts, so stay tuned. 2026, water star year. This is a time to upgrade your internal software, just like you have to upgrade your phone or upgrade your computer. It's not about making external changes. It's not about launching things externally or being seen. This is more of an internal, we got to fix some things inside. And I kind of envision a play where everyone is running around behind the scenes with those last minute details. If you've ever worked in theater, you know this feeling. Everybody's behind the curtain, setting the stage before that curtain goes up. And if you're in the audience watching this, it can feel like absolutely nothing is happening behind that big red curtain in the theater. But if you are directing the play from the other side of the curtain, there is a whirlwind of energy. There's helpers and unseen forces making it all happen last minute. So when that curtain goes up, the show can begin. It's all about getting ready to be ready for the curtain to rise, right? So everything is sort of happening behind the scenes. So this 2026 will not be as much of a doing year. This is a time where we shift our focus more on becoming who you are meant to be is far more powerful than doing all those little menial tasks every day that you've been trying to accomplish with perhaps a limited success. This is a time when we will all be stepping into our divine power. And this year, it all begins within, underground, in the darkness, in a dream-like state. So darkness becomes a big theme of 2026, and I believe there will be a greater emphasis on keeping our night skies dark with lights out, and I am all for that as a stargazer. I have to say, I don't totally love all the Christmas lights that are just blaring out. I cannot see Venus in the morning because everybody's got their Christmas lights on so bright. I am all for living somewhere with just completely dark skies. I want to go off grid and live where I can see all the stars and the Milky Way. Can you see the Milky Way where you live? Most cities, you cannot see the Milky Way anymore. That's just sad. So darkness becomes vital and important for our survival in 2026. And just as those seeds are stirring around in winter as they begin to germinate and prepare to bloom next spring, the water element time supports our inner urge to realize our inherent potential to become, Just like a seed breaking through the soil and reaching towards the light, we are in a time of dynamic internal growth and actualization of our divine inner gifts. When you look out at your garden in the wintertime, it may look completely dead to you. But underground, there is a dynamic process of true creation that is happening in the darkness, in the cold, that is symbolic of a baby developing in utero. This 2026 one water star is fertile energy. What will you birth forth this year? This is a time to plant those seeds of intention. And if you are trying to get pregnant, this is a good time to get pregnant. So these seeds will be germinating in darkness because it is a safe space where people are craving that feeling of being safe. Darkness signals to the seed it's safe to begin your process of becoming in that germination, where the seed conserves all of its energy, its hidden potential, until it is established, until it is ready to sprout forth. It's all taking place hidden from our sight. So if you're trying to be seen this year, maybe you want to launch a book or start a podcast or do something where you need the limelight, this can be a hard, frustrating time to launch forth in a big way, to publish your book or get attention, particularly if you are a 6 medal star where you will be having that double medal year. This year is not about being seen at all. This year is about hidden process. Think about the vast oceans of water on our planet. It's more about what is hidden, what is happening underneath our visual, what we see of the ocean. Just like an iceberg, when we look at an iceberg in the ocean, we only see 20% of that frozen mass because 80% of this ginormous iceberg is hidden under the surface of water, out of view. There's so much going on this year that we just don't know about. This is a year for secrets, espionage, and things that are happening out of our control that may be a far bigger issue than we realize, like AI. And the personal is political. But this year, you want to focus on your own internal process, your own seed germinating time, because we may not have any control over these unseen issues in our world. So don't get caught up in the drama of whatever's going on. That is an energetic trap that keeps you from focusing on what's really important, your own internal germinating seed of intention. This is a time to really step back from everything you've been doing in the external world, to slow down, to go within, to pull all your energy back, to get control of your time and unplug. Give yourself solitude and space to feel safe enough to germinate, to really get into that receiving mode, to trust the process and allow your life to unfold effortlessly in this natural process, because this journey is about a deep inner evolution into your own divine potential without knowing where it will lead, not knowing what will happen next. It will require your relentless participation through radical acts of self-awareness, which may even come from embracing some discomfort, some uncomfortable moments, some insecurities, some greatest fears, some whatever is keeping you, holding you back, releasing those energetic blocks with an energy clearing. As you get real with yourself, there will be growing pains for us all in this germinating cycle of growth. These growing pains can become really intense. So a lot of people will be having a hard time with the energy of this year. We will all be feeling this collective struggle to emerge out after our difficult metamorphosis process, like a butterfly in the chrysalis thrashing about in a struggle to get out of that chrysalis and fly. But it is in this very process, this struggle that the butterfly goes through, that builds the strength to have the wings be strong enough to fly so that you can evolve and you can take flight. So you can't skip the struggle. There's no skipping this step. The struggle is real, and the struggle is part of the germinating seed that has to crack out. It's gonna be tough. And this year is about getting ready to be ready to emerge from that seed, just like a butterfly emerging from the cocoon when it's finally ready, when it is strong enough. And the uncomfortable process of figuring out what exactly you want to become in this lifetime is your divine purpose for this year. This year is not about reaching your goals or getting to a destination. This is your very first step on a spiritual vision quest leading you into the great unknown. This is almost hard for me to predict what's going to happen because it's all unseen. It's all unknown. It's deep underground in the darkness. But this germination is the most crucial step of the whole growth process. If you are a gardener, I know you know what I'm talking about. When you plant those seeds, you're just hoping, you're planting the seeds in early spring before your garden is really ready, and you're just hoping that each and every seed is going to germinate into a tomato plant so that later in August, September, you could be harvesting those juicy red tomatoes. So don't skip this step of germination, because the energy of this whole 2026 year feels a lot like New Year's Day, when you get so excited to start a brand new year. You have this clean slate, fresh start, anything is possible. Maybe you have this optimistic vision board of all your goals and what you're going to manifest, and you really want to manifest those big dreams this year. Yet you look out the window and the season is winter. Maybe it's cold and dark and could be even snowing where you live. And even as you write out your big lofty goals for the year in your journal, it feels kind of depressing, like nothing's really happening out there. And that is the energy of the whole year of 2026. So there's nothing to do this year but wait for nature to take its course gradually as we wait for spring to come. And spring is coming to the collective in just a few years, right? So get a cup of tea and relax. This germination process is going to take time. In 2026, we begin again with this brand new 9-year cycle, this seed of potential that we will all collectively be germinating, right? We're dreaming in our collective vision for the future we want to live in. And what do you want to do with your one precious life? And this is your vision board moment for sure, for the whole world. It's a chance for a do-over. It's a chance for a comeback. You can try once again to grow your garden, to grow that crop, to nourish yourself over the next 9 years. And I really sat with this one water star energy for so long, more time than I normally do, just really getting to know the vibe of this one water star year deeply, wondering what is going to happen before I even start thinking about it or writing about it. I know everyone wants to know, starting January 1st, what is 2026 going to be like? I'm already getting the texts, and my clients and friends are asking me, what's this year? But remember, this is 9-star key divination system. It won't begin until February 4th of 2026. And until then, we are still shedding our old destructive patterns. We're in that 2 Earth Mother Snake year that feels like you just gotta light your Palo Santo, and you got to do the energy clearings, and you got to let that shit go, right? You just want to make sure you don't skip this step of releasing everything that doesn't serve you from 2025, because anything that you don't release becomes an energetic block to you having everything you're trying to call in 2026. So don't skip that powerful letting go process that 2025 was all about. Your seed will not germinate to bring you your next greatest good if the soil is full of old garbage from last year, old compost that hasn't completely composted. And if you haven't watched my 2025 9-star key video where I unpack that 2 Earth star year, the Earth Mother, you can go back and watch that first before the year begins. You have a little over a month to truly master the lessons of 2025 before moving into the 1 water star on February 4th is when the Lunar New Year for the 9-star key begins. And I personally want to squeeze all the life out of my 6 lucky metal star as a 3 wood star, because I'm in my harvest time. I don't want to skip the step of harvesting all that I deserve and allowing the good things to come to me. So there may still be gifts that you can receive from 2025. Be sure, if you haven't already, watch your 2025 personal star that's based on when you look up your star down in the description and you find your star and know what 2025 was about, so you'll be ready to be ready for 2026. You will have done your homework, because this 1 water star has so much potential, but you got to be ready. You got to be ready to become. And the 1 water star also reminds me of an architect drawing out the designs of a house in this slow, methodical process, where the architect spends time and space, and the architect is in solitude as he thinks about the form and function of this new space. There's so much of a process before the pencil even hits the paper. It requires a lot of thinking about it before anything tangible can even be imagined, yet let alone created, right? So in this 1 water star, we are all architects ourselves, just thinking about, just dreaming that dream into being, just starting to imagine what could be before we even put it on paper, and certainly before the house is built in your backyard. So I really had to get into a quiet, meditative, mindful state of being to channel the divine wisdom of spirit, ancestors, and angels, and aliens alike for this 1 water star, because the 1 water star is known for channeling that higher wisdom. And this divine wisdom is always available to all of us when we finally slow down and truly listen. So that is the very first step to take this year. More listening, less talking. To make that a practice of this year, to do more listening, less talking, And I just couldn't rush into this 1-star element like I usually do as a 3 wood star. I love to rush and get things done. But I heard that old Elvis song saying, only fools rush in. And that could be the theme song for 2026. Only fools rush in. This year moves at a much slower pace. And if you try to rush through it, you might have to do it all over again because you will make a mistake. This year, in the seed of potential germinating, you cannot rush this germinating process, just like you can't rush the 9 months it takes to make a baby. You need to reflect long and deeply on what it is you're trying to call in this year. And it just may take all year just to figure out what you want, right? So let alone to go out and get it. That will come later. So this year, we have some strong energetic downloads coming in to support our process from this higher divine wisdom as we are moving into more of a 5th dimensional world. And the 1 water star is closely tied to angels and aliens and ancestors alike. So I predict we will have more of these divine interventions. I predict seeing more alien sightings reported in the news and just help from a higher dimension coming in to save us all right now, because I think our world needs saving from a higher dimensional being. In 2026, a fresh new wind from the north signals this brand new beginning and a return to finding your own internal strength. This quality of time calls you to find your own personal vision, the courage to realize it, and the ability to integrate new skills for you to have what you want. We'll have to have brand new coping mechanisms and brand new ways of being as we recalibrate and evolve for our very survival on this planet. And this 1 water star brings the energy of introversion. Most 1 water stars are introverts unless they have a more extroverted star in their 3-star pattern. So we will all crave more alone time in a 1 water star. So make time in your schedule for just solo retreats, time to yourself. We may want to stay home more often because solitude will nourish your soul in a 1 water star year. 2026 will be a year of spiritual intervention. When spirit forces you to go in a completely different direction than you had planned or you thought you were going, because this is fated moments coming through in this year, and it can feel like life is taking you off course, but in fact, a higher power is coming in to put you on a better course for exactly where you belong in this world, even if that includes a little bit of chaos, like losing your job, breaking up, or suddenly having to move. Have you ever been surprised by this higher, sometimes hostile takeover that comes from spirit or your intuition that is guiding you? Maybe a higher wisdom nudging you to go here, do this, or just a sudden emergence of this soulful inner knowing that you need to go a completely different way, do a totally different path, make a huge career change, leave a relationship, or whatever that spirit is telling you. I call it spirit when you allow spirit to direct your choices. It may just change the complete trajectory of your life that leads you to your true divine destiny. This is your moment. This is a calling This is Spirit asking you to rise up and step into your power and become who you were meant to be. And we were just talking about this in my Reiki 2 class, where you learn how to use the Reiki symbols to manifest things. And you could send distance Reiki, but it's always really funny. You have to release your attachment to outcome, because it may show up totally different than what you thought you want. You think you know what it's gonna look exactly like. Maybe you're trying to call in the future love of your life and you want it to look like this and be like this. Or you think where you're going to work is going to be over here and it's going to look like that, and what it is you want in life. But the universe comes in, Spirit comes in and says, dream something even bigger. I have an even better situation than you can even imagine right now from where you are. And the universe is conspiring to bring you an even higher level of being in the world. But you have to surrender to the process, and you have to allow these good things to show up. And I remember when Spirit intervened to help me find love and eventually have a child and a family. And I was in my 30s, and I was just about to buy this little house that I'd been renting, and I loved. It was in Seattle, and I called it my precious cat lady house because I lived there by myself, and I had my cats, and I had a rose garden, and I just loved this little house. It was just a little 1-bedroom house in Queen Anne in Seattle. And my landlord was in foreclosure at the time, so it was going to be this great deal. And I had it all planned out. I knew what I was doing. But then my Jen Shin Do teacher told me, no, I see a totally different path for you. Please do not buy this cat lady house, because you will end up all alone for the rest of your life if you do. And I picture you moving into a gray stone castle where you can let your hair down like Rapunzel, and you will meet your true love, and it will be this happily ever after fairy tale life where you get married and you have a child and you buy a bigger house and you have this family. And I just thought she was crazy. I could not see that life for me at all. I was actually in my 30s and getting kind of comfortable with the idea that I may never find true love and I may just be alone. And I was fine with that. I had a career I loved, and I was just getting comfortable with that. So I couldn't see that after I left that session, I was just about to have a spiritual intervention. Spirit was going to do a hostile takeover and totally shift my gears. And the first thing that happened after that session, my realtor told me she was worried that my landlord might have some debts, some liens on the house. And if I buy this foreclosure, I could be taking on unexpected debts if I bought his house. And she thought it's a really bad investment and I don't recommend. So that was the first door kind of closing. Not only should I not buy this house, but I was also getting letters in the mail that I should probably move soon because the bank was literally going to take the home and I'm just renting it. So that was kind of a downer. And then the next thing that happened is my car had an extreme check engine light where it just kept beeping and flashing. You know, one of those check engine lights that you just can't ignore and you have to take care of it. And I dropped it off at my favorite mechanic in Queen Anne, and I was walking home, walking up the Queen Anne hill, and on my way home, I can't even believe this, I see this incredible gray stone castle, and it's a gray stone castle carriage house, and it looks like it has these high walls with a window, and it looks like the kind of gray stone castle that Rapunzel would put her hair down in for her prince. It's out of a fairy tale dream, and I thought, this can't be real. And as I'm looking at it, a woman is literally putting a for rent sign in the window as I'm there, standing there. And I gently knock on the door and wave. And the next thing you know, I'm renting this Rapunzel-styled gray stone castle carriage house chateau for an incredibly low price. And when I went to go pick up my car, my mechanic said, there's absolutely nothing wrong with your car. I don't know why that flashlight went off. And I thought, yeah, I know why. It was because I was supposed to rent this house, and this house was just a little bit spooky. And as a single woman living there all alone, I'd never been afraid to live alone in my whole life. I've lived alone a lot, but this house might have just nudged me to date my husband now, William, because his name literally means protector. And I truly needed protection living in this Greystone castle. So sometimes we think we know exactly what direction we should take next and what we're doing and where we're going. But the universe has its own plan for us. And it's all written in the stars. This is why it's so fun to get an astrology reading and see that maybe you're supposed to go over there instead of over there. And if you're having problems right now, maybe you didn't get to buy the house you wanted, maybe you got fired, maybe your car breaks down, or you suddenly have to move your house. All of these things may just be leading to a spiritual intervention where the universe is conspiring to give you something even better than you can imagine. So just remember my mantra, which is, what is meant for you will not pass you by. And if it passes you by, it wasn't meant for you. And I have to tell myself that as I didn't win the Powerball billions. How about you? If it passes you by, it wasn't meant for you. So this whole year of 2026 will be a time of positive evolution for our whole world collectively. And in your own personal life, this year can lead you to a new and greater understanding of your inner being, who you are meant to become in this lifetime, your own personal deepest desires that have nothing to do with your day-to-day job or your family obligations, or what would you do if you simply couldn't fail? What is your big dream? What do you really want to be doing with your life? All of these things will be coming up, and this is a great time to get out a journal and just journal write about all of it. Because under this water element influence, you will be able to see what is wrong with your life and how to make some corrective changes in the year ahead. And be open to the divine spiritual insights that will be heightened in this 2026 year and aided by your willingness to stay open to unlimited possibilities. Like a child full of wonder, pay attention to what is showing up for you in your life. What is it trying to teach you? Where is it guiding you? What is the higher message of that car light saying check engine? What is really happening? And this just reminds me of Shoshin, which is the Japanese Zen Buddhist concept that is beginner's mind, right? Try to get into beginner's mind in 2026. Don't assume you know everything. Approach every moment of your life with this openness and eagerness and lack of preconception. Like a novice, even if you're an expert in your field, there's always more to learn. So stay humble in 2026. Stay curious. Have fresh eyes. This will bring you creativity, deeper understanding, and personal growth beyond bounds. Get into that flow state where you can just lose yourself in a creative pursuit of some kind. Maybe you want to make music or do movement as medicine, walking, dancing, Tai Chi. I envision people becoming immersed in creative activities like hobbies and coloring, knitting, baking, just for the fun of it. Not to get anything out of it, just for the pure Zen flow state moment. We will want to get out of our thinking minds, that mind that thinks it knows what we need to do next. And these hobbies will bring you into the present moment where something is being made. You are channeling this divine wisdom. It's a state of becoming that resonates with the energy of this year when you just knit a blanket and you're just in the moment knitting a blanket. We will want to focus on these kind of hobbies and these moments that bring us into the now, and focusing on even our subconscious thoughts. And our subconscious thoughts are creating our reality all the time, but this year particularly, our subconscious mind is really guiding us. So pay attention to your subconscious thoughts. What are you thinking when the world gets quiet? Forgiveness, kindness, compassion, and gratitude. These will become our coping mechanisms in a 1 water star year. Spread it all around. The world needs these kind words and love. Never forget to bring love into your dream when you're trying to germinate that seed. And 1 water stars are catalysts for big change. So we are going to see some big changes in our world this year. I think of Mary Tyler Moore. She's one of my favorite 1 water stars. And Michelle Obama. There's this groundbreaking energy afoot here. And anything is possible when you tap into your inner resources, just like Mary Tyler Moore and Michelle Obama are so good at doing. So find your own creative, free spirit. Break any bad habits that are holding you back and develop your willpower to serve you. We'll need discipline and willpower as we germinate this seed. And just become an independent thinker. Don't listen to the narrative. There's some negative, fear-based narratives going around. Create your own way forward. You are writing your own story this year. And 1 water stars are great observers at the party. You might not even notice the 1 water star, but they are taking it all in. They're listening to everybody. They're watching all the body language and the subtle cues. So be like a 1 water star this year. Talk less, listen more, pay attention to what is going on around you. And this is a time to seek guidance from wise elders. This is a time for doing that deep inner healing through therapy, hypnosis, Reiki, or energy clearings. It's a time to build your own reserve energy, reserve kidney chi with Qigong, yoga, or getting out into nature for some hiking. And there will be a call for higher consciousness in 2026, an expansion of energy that will probably bring more interest in religion and spiritual monasteries, spiritual retreats. Theologians call this focus on matters of ultimate concern. It's like, what is the meaning of life? Why am I here? What is my divine purpose? How do you fit into this universal paradigm? This is a year for this kind of deep soul searching, and you may be attracted to more spiritual groups. This is a beautiful year to get a Reiki attunement, to open your heart chakra to that divine energy, and learn how to heal thyself. And I teach Reiki both in person and online. Check it out, my link's down below. And you might also be craving some kind of ceremonial magic, ritual, witchcraft, shamanism, or just other alternative ways of thinking, being, and living. I see a lot of off-grid. People are going off-grid. They're just starting these communal living spaces. Everything is just very open to change. And a spiritual intervention will deepen your understanding of your soul purpose if you can remain open to it, and gives you this chance to make constructive changes that will enrich your life. So take advantage of any opportunity that is being offered to you in 2026. If something shows up, it's probably meant to be. It's probably for your highest healing good, and it's sending you on this higher path. And just really pay attention to what is showing up. Who are the people, animals, signs, symbols that are showing up in your world? And as I was ruminating about this one water star, I also felt the emotion of anxiety, which I'm not usually an anxious person, but that is a common emotion. We will all be feeling a little anxious because there's so much unknown about what will happen next in this brand new 9-year cycle. Everyone will be a little on edge in the world, uncertain and anxious, and you may even feel paranoid. But hopefully the universe is conspiring in your favor and not against you. And this all relates to that kidney meridian that ties into the one water element. I'm going to go more into this in my ebook. I'm also doing this ebook about the one water star, and I don't want to dive so deeply into the kidney meridian, but if you really want to know more about how to balance this energy, I'm going to have a lot of tips and tricks for how to align with the one water star. But basically, the kidney meridian fear relates to a pregnant mother, because when you're pregnant, that is a kidney moment. Your kidneys are really in charge of your pregnancy. So it's just like a pregnant mother worrying about her baby turning out just right. It's like we're all collectively pregnant with this new world that we are birthing in together, and we're hoping and praying that it's all going to come out okay. But this is a difficult birthing process for where we are in our world. Our world seems a little scary right now, and everyone wants this rebirth, this do-over, this comeback. We all want the world to be good again, right? So we are the ones we've been waiting for, as I was talking about with that blue Kachina star, that comet that has come in. We are here to save our world right now, and it requires deep spiritual faith. But go easy on yourself this year if you're also feeling worried, scared, or anxiety, because these are just the natural feelings of a one water star and the seed of germination. And we're just not sure if it's going to sprout and grow into something yet. It's all so unknown. It's all so brand new. So if you're feeling unsure about the future, that can lead to stagnation. You just don't want to make a move forward because you're not really sure, and it's the dark of winter, and we're not sure where this path leads. Plus we have water with earth this year, and I'm going to write more about that in the ebook too, but water and earth combined to create mud. So you may be feeling stuck in the mud this year. And of course, we're already seeing all these mudslides and landslides. So there's a lot to worry about. I'm not going to say there isn't, but when you feel anxious, what you want to do is replenish your kidney chi, just as simply as drinking water, staying hydrated, eating kidney nourishing foods like beans, colorful fruits and berries, all the blueberries and raspberries with those immune boosting anthocyanins, and eating more seafood and omega oils and olive oils and all the seed oils. This will nourish your kidney chi, and this will sort of calm that anxiety as well. And you'll also just want to embrace the uncertainty of the moment. Be comfortable with not knowing what is going to happen next. The more mindful and present you can remain by being in the now and not future tripping about how things are going to turn out and where you're going and what you'll be doing, you will find greater peace through the sometimes difficult process of becoming, if you can just stay in the present moment. And we will feel so energetically sensitive in 2026 because even though we're a seed underground, under snow, it can feel like on some level there's not much happening above the surface. And on another highly attuned energetic level, some of you who are more highly sensitive like me, you might be feeling like there's so much going on energetically. Even though I'm not sure what it is, we can just sort of feel this energetic bubbling in the collective with a lot of fear. And this can also have a lot to do with those geomagnetic solar storms causing the mystical, magical aurora borealis, which we will be seeing even more of in 2026. And it could also be the sense that the earth is shaking under our feet because we really have a lot more earthquakes and geomagnetic energy under our feet. And there's been mudslides and hurricanes and flooding and climate change and other earth water events. And I'm still really worried about the Cascadian subduction zone where I live in the Pacific Northwest. But just remind yourself that worrying is like praying for what you don't want to happen this year. So try to envision the outcomes you want in your life and not dwell on what you don't want to happen or I hope this doesn't happen, because we're all so magnetic in this manifesting miracles year. We want to make sure we're manifesting what we do want and not manifesting bad things just by imagining it's happening. And unfortunately, we can't call in bad things by worrying too much about it in this really fertile one water star energy. So you may want to limit your exposure to negative TV, like the news or all these scary thrillers. There's so many scary thrillers. Instead, watch more comedies or just get out and be out in nature and breathing in trees and going for hikes. And limit your exposure to those toxic friends, the people who bring you down with their negativity or their bad habits, like drinking or drugs or eating unhealthy foods. Be mindful of everything you're taking in, because that nourishment is so important to that germinating seed. You want to be mindful of what you're eating, the quality of your drinking water. We just got the most amazing water filter for our faucet this year to filter the water because we've had a lot of forever chemicals in the water where I live. I think forever chemicals are in the water everywhere. And I will link my favorite water filter ever down below. It's not that expensive and it has really done a good job of clearing out our water. And you'll just want to be more highly sensitive to what you're bringing in and stay active. Go dancing. I just read that dancing prevents dementia. Get out and move your body. Listen to music to shift the energy whenever you find yourself getting negative, fearful, or anxious too. And even as I say, don't worry about natural disasters, I do believe that climate change is here and there may be tough times ahead in 2026. We've already had awful floods in the West where I live. In December, as a one water star month, we were already soaking in it for this month, getting ready to feel the energy of what is to come. And I spoke all about this in my December 9-star key reading. You can go back and listen to that if you want even more about the energy of what's coming. And this one water star energy can feel overwhelming, dealing with this earth crisis that is no longer out in the future. It is here now, and no one is going to save us now. And we will find a higher spiritual faith in the moment, in the process. When we surrender to a higher power, when you let go and let God, as they say, let a higher power control the outcome. And if you've ever lived through a natural disaster yourself, you may have felt the divinity of the moment as I have. For me, it was the 1989 mega earthquake. I was super close to the epicenter. of the Loma Prieta earthquake in Northern California, where I lost a friend, Maggie, who was buried under brick in a pub that collapsed in Santa Cruz, California. And that was just one of those moments when I started praying during that earthquake. Even though I don't think of myself as religious, so much may be out of our hands this year. We may just drop to our knees and start praying and seeking a higher power, because I think that we are in for some unexpected events, unexpected climate crisis events. And intuitively, I also predict that we will see more deadly illnesses in 2026 as winter, this whole year is kind of the feeling of winter as the season of viruses and death. This one water star brings the energy of winter all year. So we may experience some death and loss in 2026. I think bird flu is going to be the most prevalent, but also illnesses from insects like dengue fever. And when I was hiking recently this winter, I saw a sweet little yellow finch that had died, and it was heartbreaking. But then I started looking up the symbolism of what does it mean when you see a dead bird out in nature. And seeing dead birds is a sign of rebirth, new directions, new beginning. So maybe these bird flu deaths will be part of the process that we're in right now. Sometimes something has to die before something begins in that whole death, transformation, rebirth cycle. And I'm also really worried about waterborne viruses making a comeback this spring. Toxic waters poisoning our food, massive produce recalls, and this will be a year where you will want to eat local if you can. You will want to grow your own food. This could be crucial in 2026. If you are a gardener, I highly recommend growing your own food. I think I'm going to get a greenhouse just because of this. And I predict there's going to be a lot of gatherings, social movements, and protests coming in 2026. Because we saw this in 2017, the last time we had a one water star. I'm going to talk about the last time we had a one water star more a little bit later. But 2026, we really have power to the people. And so people may gather, people may protest, we might have workers' revolution and striking. But I believe this is not really a safe year for these kind of collective gatherings. I'm even thinking I might skip my annual health fair, or at least move it to late fall, because this spring of 2026 will be particularly volatile for pandemic viruses and waterborne illnesses, and even mass shootings. I don't know. I just see people gathering and people dying. That's just something that I'm envisioning with this energy. So I think this 9-star key, it does make you so superstitious. Some of my friends go, well, you're so superstitious, but I've been following 9-star key for a long time. And if you pay attention, it guides you. So I will not be doing any big events this spring. And I think of big events like Eurovision in Ireland, the big singing competition. I sense that something traumatic could happen. I'm just going to put it here. I love to put these predictions because then I look back and go, oh my God, that did happen. I would avoid the Eurovision in spring this May, and the possible conference in Miami in April 2026, or even sporting events like March Madness or the World Cup, or musical events like South by Southwest. There's all these events happening this spring of 2026. I would say steer clear of all kinds of events and community gatherings spring of 2026. This is a really strong message I was receiving from a higher wisdom as a warning to share with all of you. And I see large-scale events at gatherings of people, either shootings or viruses or maybe even poisoning. I get a strong hit that we may have massive deaths at community gatherings in spring of 2026. So I won't be going to any crowded events or not even a protest until fall of 2026, because that's when we begin to shift into the 27 energy, and then it becomes a safer energy for our health and well-being and collectives. And this one water star is a feminine element, so I do believe the feminine, divine feminine energy will be rising and continue to promote women's movements and female empowerment, especially in the light of the Epstein files. We may see a brand new form of feminism that is ushered in by the millennials and the Gen Z. I would love for them to take the torch and become feminists with their own special flavor, so it makes a massive impact on social media and beyond. I think women are really coming into their power with this one water star, with this feminine energy. And of course, water will take on more of an importance in a one water star. We may see a war on water, wars over water. We're already seeing boats being blown up. But with the one water star, I am even more worried about undersea nuclear submarines and undersea volcanoes and the volatile energy of things unknown underwater, unseen forces, unknown hidden dangers, leading to water deaths in general. And I certainly won't be doing any cruise ships in 2026. That's just me. If you already have a cruise plan, go for it. But underwater vessels, long swims across deep oceans, I'm not about it this year. I'm not even sure I want to go to the beach because I think we could have tsunami potential. This one star, this sounds like catastrophic thinking, and I just told you not to have catastrophic thinking, but you also want to balance up with being aware of danger, tapping into your higher intuition so that you know how to balance your fears with your intuition. And I find that fear has more of an emotional ego attachment to it, whereas when I'm truly getting an intuitive download hit, it just sort of shows up without any feeling. I'll just go, oh, that's going to happen. And if it doesn't have a lot of feeling, that's when I'm actually more worried. Because it feels more like just a friend telling me about a situation. That's, for me, usually when it's intuitive. I'd love to know how you tell the difference between intuition and fear. But that's the kind of skills we're going to want to hone for this one water star. And I also predict severe droughts in our world will continue, which is only going to lead them to do more cloud seeding. This is something we have where I live. They cloud seed for rain, and that tends to turn into floods like we've been seeing. So we may have more controversy about the cloud seeding that also poisons our water system because they drop silver iodide into the clouds, and this is showing up in our drinking water in Oregon, causing health concerns. So this is going on across the globe, and this may relate to whole species of animals dying and going extinct. And basically everything to do with water will be effective. And we are collectively going to find out how important water really is for our survival this year. And respect for the water will become a huge theme in a one water star, because water is this precious natural resource. And there's going to be fears about not having enough of it, bringing up scarcity. And of course, there's also like AI data centers that are toxifying the water. That will become a huge issue. But my other prediction about the natural resources that are so important in a one water star is that we'll have so many supply chain issues, but mostly massive gas shortages could come by summer of 2026. Even though Trump says he plans to drill, baby, drill, it's not coming to fruition this year. And when this water year dampens Trump's 9 fire star, it's going to slow all of his plans down significantly. And I'm going to do a separate report on the 9-star key for Trump. I'm going to do that soon, because this year, as he moves out of that unstoppable 3 wood star into a more unpredictable 4 wood star, he will be heading into a storm. and then the water is going to put, dampen his fire. So things are changing for Trump. He might not be able to do all the things he says he's going to do. And the one water star is known as the innovator. So I predict we will see lots of new innovations, and maybe we'll finally get jetpacks. They promised us jetpacks. More likely we'll be seeing AI infiltrating everything. Even movies, video games, and music will be cranked out big numbers by AI. But there will also be a rebellion against this technology because it is poisoning our water with the data systems. And the Gen Z particularly, the main customers who would be buying those video games, movies, and music from AI, they will be not having it. The Gen Zs that I know, my son is Gen Z, they are craving more analog things. They're craving record players and real books, and it'll be fun to watch AI push forth but fail as Gen Z only becomes more analog, craving the simplicity of a more 80s style vibe. So I think that's going to be interesting. And a one water star, because it is the seed underground, it brings in those underground vibes. So bunkers will become extremely popular, driven by a fear of war, climate change, and just the overall state of our world. I think who doesn't want to just climb in a bunker? People want to live off grid. People want to live underground this year. And I just saw this underground refrigerator for extra storage. That I want that. I'll share it in a short. You could really be a prepper and store food underground. And finally, like I said, I'm going to look back at the last time we had a one water star, and that was in 2017. And maybe there's clues to what will happen this year. And that was the year we had the massive women's march with millions of women wearing pink knit hats to protest at thousands of events. We were at the one here in Bend. And that was in conjunction with the Me Too movement that was rising. So you see, when a one water star happens, the divine feminine energy is rising up, and women will be really coming into the news empowered. And maybe we'll have some more women political leaders. We've already voted in several women political leaders recently. And there were other protests in 2017, including taking a knee, which happened in the NFL industry. And Trump was our president in that last one water star. That was 2017. He was invoking lots of fear of the unknown then, just as he is now, because he was talking about America first and really making us go against all the other countries. And that was the beginning of the division from other countries. And so, but if you think back to 2017, I'd love to know, what was your life like in 2017? You're about to get a replay, a redo, another comeback of 2017. When 2017, I was doing pretty good, actually. I think because I'm a wood, water feeds wood, I had a great year. And surprisingly, the economy was wonderful in 2017. Profits at an all-time high, having more to do with water, because water is wealth. You can manifest financial miracles. So the water star energy, that Trump really tries to take credit for that 2017 whole economic boom, but it's really because you can prosper in a one water star. But one water star did have some pandemics, just like I predict is going to happen, because we had the worst Ebola outbreak. I don't know if any of you remember that. Ebola, and even early COVID-19 cases were being secretly reported. No one knew it was happening yet. A lot of people weren't publishing that COVID-19 was on its way, but there were actually tons of cases if you do the research in 2017. So we could maybe even have a pandemic, but they're not talking about it, that kind of thing. And there was catastrophic flooding in 2017. I remember the Puerto Rico hurricane where the whole island was underwater. Lots of weather-related climate change problems that year, just like I predict for this year too. So that just gives you a little taste of what to expect in a one water star based on 2017. Think about what you were doing and how you felt that year, and you will have another similar year in 2026. Well, I thank you so much for watching, and make sure you find out your own personal star element and then get your own personal star element reading. And if you want to dive even deeper into this one water star, I will be releasing an ebook, and I'll link it down below. Thank you so much.